Thanks everybody for joining us today on our call. My name is Corey Kersley. I'm the Executive Director for the Sherwood Chamber of Commerce, and on the call with us today is Bruce Coleman, our counterpart at the City of Sherwood. He's the Economic Development Manager. We welcome him on the call. And so we don't have a special guest from outside the community joining us today, but we do have some announcements that we thought would be useful and valuable for our business community that we wanted to review. And so we are going to record this and make it available for anyone that would like to pick it up later on. So I'll get started, Bruce, if that's okay. I'll start with the Business Oregon grant, and I know you have a part in that, but I'll just kind of give a brief description. So this is a grant that the Oregon legislature, in partnership with the governor, allocated $5 million from the state general fund, which will be combined with another $5 million that's been redirected from other programs at the Oregon Business Development Department, otherwise known as Business Oregon, for the purpose of providing financial assistance to small businesses impacted by COVID-19. And the way that they went about doing this is they solicited applications from various entities, many of which are cities, some banks and credit unions and other entities like that, who they then rewarded that money to, and then those entities in turn create an application processes for the businesses in their areas and jurisdiction that they can then sort of be the middleman, and that money will go through those entities. So for Sherwood, as far as I can tell, there are 3 entities which you could apply for this grant from. The City of Sherwood is one, and I'll let Bruce speak to that here in just a minute, but there are 2 credit unions that also are playing this role: the Consolidated Community Credit Union and Trailhead Credit Union. And applications for them and a website, well, so applications for Consolidated Community Credit Union are available on the Sherwood's website on our coronavirus information page. And then Trailhead Credit Union actually has a dedicated landing page where you can learn more about the grant program and all the requirements. So I know the city is still working on its kind of the back end for them. So Bruce, do you want to speak to that for just a second?
Yeah, let me talk about that. I hear some feedback.
Okay, I'm going to mute. Maybe that'll help.
So the city is being offered $35,000 from Business Oregon, which is the state's economic development agency. And we'll be taking that agreement with the state to the city council at the next meeting. There's various requirements that are going to come with that. It's $35,000. The grants are one-time grants to businesses from the range of $2,500 for a business up to, as I recall, $25,000, depending on number of employees, depending on some other criteria in the state program. As I said, they're almost entirely state requirements that are in that. Once we have council action on the agreement with the state, then we're going to request the funds and then create an application process from that, and then take applications. Obviously that money is not going to go terribly far, $35,000, but we're very pleased to have it. We're to get it, and we're very pleased to provide that to our businesses in the community that make application to us and meet the eligibility criteria. The eligibility criteria are almost entirely the same for anybody you get this money for. The only difference in the case with our program is you're going to have to be a business in the City of Sherwood, have a City of Sherwood business license, and those are the primary local requirements, other than what the state is going to be requiring. And without going into any more detail now, I'd be glad to try to answer any questions, but that's just an overview. And there's another grant program we're working on too, but I'll get to that when the time is appropriate.
Yeah, and I'll just add that the requirements are pretty much the same for the two credit unions as well. And as far as I understand, in reading the requirements, a business can apply to all three of those, but you can only accept an award from one of them. Is that your understanding,
Yeah,
Bruce?
what's going to happen is when we're ready to issue an award letter, before we do an award letter from the city with this state money, this Business Oregon money, we're going to have to send our list to the state, and they have a certain period of time to review it to see if that particular business is already approved under the program elsewhere. So each of the programs are separate. You're going to, in the case of the credit union, you're going to apply directly to the credit union. That's nothing to do with the city. Either of those credit unions, or you're going to apply directly to the city when we release our program sometime in August. But it's going to be the same basic application form, the same basic requirements with those modifications that I mentioned that are City of Sherwood specific in terms of our business licensees.
Yeah, and as Bruce said, the 35,000 that the city will receive won't go very far, and so we are encouraging businesses to apply in other places if they can, if they feel like they meet their requirements, which I don't think are really any different. So that if for some reason you don't get the Sherwood one, or perhaps you can get a bigger award with one of the other ones, then we certainly want to encourage whatever's best for your particular business. So again, information about that is on our resource page on the Sherwood Chamber website, and then the city, as soon as they get all of their paperwork on their end done, I'm sure we'll hear more about their application process coming soon. So the other grant that Bruce just alluded to, the CARES Act grant distributed by Washington County. Bruce, you want to just?
Yeah, I'll briefly do that. We're being awarded $248,000 CARES Act, federal CARES Act funds through Washington County. They're distributing it, and it's a bit more flexible in terms of program requirements than the state's program. But we're still going to have businesses prove to us that they have COVID-related adverse economic impacts and those types of things. But we are also taking that grant program, that $248,000 grant program. They call it an intergovernmental agreement between the city and the county, to the city council at the next meeting next week. Assuming that's approved, then we have to submit our program in some detail to the county for approval. We have to request the money, and then once we have that, we'll go out and announce the availability of funds and take in applications. We're not merging these two programs. They have different requirements, and the state requirements are more rigorous than the CARES Act or county type requirements. But yeah, we're looking forward to getting the money out there and trying to help as many businesses as possible.
Okay, good. Thank you, Bruce. So the next item on our agenda is a couple of weeks ago, we had Kathy Bazan from Business Recovery Center, the Tualatin Business Recovery Center, on talking about that program. And you may recall that is a program that was also set up by the county to be of assistance to any business that has been impacted by COVID, that just needs some help managing all the resources, applying for these grants, applying for loans, how to account for the loans, all of those kinds of things. It's kind of an open book resource for any business that just wants a little bit of guidance. There's no charge to any business to utilize the service. And I know that Kathy is very experienced. She's worked for the Small Business Administration at the SBDC, the Small Business Development Centers, for several years, and has a great deal of experience and knowledge and understanding of resources that are out there for businesses take advantage of. And so they, as part of their effort, they are trying to recruit various service providers that they can refer some of their clients to in the event that they need them. So an accountant, an attorney, website development, marketing assistance, any of those kinds of service related businesses that if you have an interest in being a provider for the small business, for the business recovery centers, then on the chamber resource page on the website is an application for you to submit a proposal in for your business to be one of those approved resources for the Business Recovery Center. So the way that it will work is the Business Recovery Center has a small budget, and so they will pitch in $50 for the first hour to compensate any business for their time. And they will ask if that $50 doesn't cover what your normal fees are for an hour of time, they would ask that you pitch in the rest on a complimentary basis for that first hour. And then if there is more opportunity or need for additional time with the client, then at that point, we'll leave it up to you and the client to negotiate rates and decide if it's worth moving forward and working together beyond that first hour. So it's really just trying to get these clients connected with service providers to answer some basic questions. And then for you as a service provider, there's an opportunity to maybe take that on an additional basis. So again, that application will be found on the Chamber website, and we encourage you to go there and apply if you feel like that's something that you can help with and want to help with and potentially get some new clients from.
Hey, Corey, I want to answer.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
All right, there's some feedback. I want to add something to that. I think what's particularly great about this is these are very experienced folks that are operating this center. It's very local. They're very interested in helping Sherwood businesses. This is not something that you have to go to downtown Portland to get these services. You can get them. They'll come visit you, depending on social distancing. You can go visit them. You can do this on the web. There's just a lot of ways of working with them, and we're really excited that this is being provided with CARES Act, primarily CARES Act funding through Washington County, again distributed through the county. So just hope that businesses take advantage of this. It's only going to be available to the end of December because that's what the CARES Act, the Federal CARES Act says.
Yeah, and if it provides enough value, there's hope that maybe the county will find additional funds beyond the CARES Act funds that might supplement the continuation of these services. Okay, so moving on, the next topic, just real briefly, if you've seen the Chamber's weekly emails on Friday, you may have seen our little smiley faced window decal. These are ready and printed, and we have a couple hundred of these to hand out to businesses. So it says, please help us help you, mask up. So we're encouraging folks to adhere to the governor's mandate to wear masks in public spaces and in all the other required places. I'm kind of losing track of where they're required at now. Basically, it's everywhere. But these are available. If you would like one, please reach out to the Chamber. We'll do our best to try and get these out to as many people as we can, as fast as we can. So please let us know if you'd like to have one or two or more. And then, do you have anything to add, Bruce?
Yeah, I was gonna say that I think since it's a small group, everybody probably heard Mark's comment about The Economist earlier, and we've got to recover health-wise from COVID-19 so we can get our businesses open and staying open. So we're hoping that everybody is going to comply with the governor's requirements and and in terms of masks and other things that we need to do to try to stay and remain healthy and keep the economy or get the economy healthier.
Yeah, absolutely. And this kind of leads into the next topic that we just wanted to briefly address. And we did quite a bit of this with Chief Growth last week with the Sherwood Police, but that's the enforcement of masks in your businesses, particularly those that require them for customers and clients. We know that this has been an issue. While it seems like it's kind of died down, initially there were a number of people that felt like that didn't feel like they needed to adhere to the mandate, or even for those that have health-related issues that don't allow them to wear a mask. The mandate is that even if they have those opinions or the reality of a health issue, the businesses are being asked not to allow them into the store and to accommodate them in other ways, either through delivery of product, or they can pull product off the shelves and bring them to the door, or however you decide it is best to do that for you. So we just wanted to just throw it out there, and I know we've only got a few people on the call, but if you listen to the recording and you have some ideas, we'd love to hear some best practices about things that you're doing that have been helpful in encouraging and the mask wearing and in enforcing that rule. For those that are on the line, do you have any thoughts, any experiences? I know, Mark, you may not necessarily be in an environment where it's required per se, but if you have any thoughts, and Jeff, I know you've got some strict requirements there with the Avamere. So if you have any thoughts, feel free to pipe up. Otherwise, we'd love to entertain any of these ideas via email. You can send them to chamber@sherwoodchamber.org. If you have any thoughts on that, we'd share those with the rest of the community. Okay, Bruce, you want to just give a quick plug on the education?
Yeah, education. Yeah, we're excited. The city and the chamber are working very closely as partners to host the small business entrepreneur training and education series. The first, I think it's 5 months, are being conducted. 5 months by Banner Bank. They volunteered to do a series. And we had our last one in I think it was July 16th. The next one's coming up August the 20th, and it's going to be a panel of financial advisors. How do businesses work with the bank and their financial advisors to make sure that all the parties are working together for the success of the business? So if you're interested in that, it's virtual. Once again, it's August the 20th, 10 to 12. And you sign up through the chamber website, and so we're hoping that the businesses or the folks that are listening live today, and those who may listen to a recording, will decide that there's some benefit for them and sign up for this free training. It's a 12-month program, and this is the second one of the 12 months. So not necessarily related to COVID. The whole thing was started before COVID, but it obviously does tie in because we're very interested in the success of our businesses in this community. Want to help in any way we can.
Yeah, and we want to thank Metro for their community enhancement program grant for allowing us to do this, and then also Banner Bank for their sponsorship. Both of those are how and why we can offer this without having to charge anyone. So, and just a side note, if you do have some interest, we're not asking anyone to sign up for everything all at once. So as you look through the roster of different topics that we'll have throughout the year, you don't have to necessarily sign up for every single one and participate in every single one. So if there's some that maybe are more important or more meaningful for you, then you can tune into those. Although we would certainly welcome anyone to join us for all of them if they would like as well. Okay, and then with that, I'm going to ask Jeff from Avamere. I know he's got an event coming up. We're just going to kind of give an opportunity here for a plug for any events or promotions or special deals or anything that anyone that's tuning in would like to promote. And I know Jeff's got one coming up on Friday, I think it is, and we'll let you kind of tell us a little bit about it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Corey. Yes, this Friday from 12 to 2, we're going to have a drive-through lunch. It's for really anyone in the community to come through and just come and get a nice boxed lunch. We just want to kind of show some appreciation and kind of break up the monotony that's kind of the pandemic's caused a little bit and get some food out to some people. And that's happening this Friday from 12 to 2. And I expect all 4 of you to be there for sure.
Yeah, I will definitely plan on having my lunch at Avamere on Friday.
Yes.
And I'll just note that, and I don't want to speak for you, Jeff, but when you initially reached out, you had mentioned that this was for essential workers, but it's so hard to define who an essential worker is. I think we all feel like we're essential in our own way and for our own industries. So I appreciate the fact that you're not necessarily limiting it to anybody in particular, but anybody's welcome to drive up, correct?
Absolutely. If you like lunch, you can come and get a box lunch on Friday.
Excellent. And the time again was 12 to 2?
Yes. So this Friday, July 31st from 12 to 2 here at our building off of Century.
Okay. And I'm assuming we'll pull through the main driveway there and then
Yeah, we
turn
don't have
around.
the logistics quite figured out yet, but from my understanding, you'll come in and go around the little drive, the roundabout, and just kind of do a little 180 out of the driveway after you get your lunch.
So Jeff, we probably just follow the crowd, right?
Exactly. Just follow the line, follow the loud sounds.
Okay, great. Thank you, Jeff. And appreciate that you guys are doing this. All of these community events, they're nice little pick-me-ups for a lot of different people in a lot of different ways. Mark, you guys got anything going on? Anything that you want to share?
Nothing to announce today. I appreciate it.
Okay. All right. Well, with that then, I don't really have anything else. Yeah, go ahead, Bruce.
Corey, can I add one thing? We're not always going to have a speaker on these Wednesdays, but we really want to make sure that everybody knows that these lines are open. We're always available, but the lines are particularly open from 12 to 1 on Wednesdays for any businesses that want to call in, want to talk with the city and the chamber simultaneously. And we really do welcome comments, we welcome input, we welcome ideas, even ideas for speakers you'd like to hear. So I just wanted to kind of end with that comment.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, we definitely appreciate the various speakers that we've had on, and they've added a lot to our calls, and there's a lot of different ways people are being impacted, and there's a lot of resources out there for people to turn to, and it's very helpful for us to be able to bring some of those people on and speak to their area of expertise and how they can help our local business community. So I think with that, we'll call it good for this week. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll make the recording available as soon as we can get it processed, and we will see you next week.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good week.